As we all know, one of the main features of Genshin is the gacha system, and regardless of if you spent money on it or not, there is more than likely to be some characters you regret pulling over time. Honestly, I think the characters might surprise you, but either way, let's get into it. The first one is rather recent, and honestly, Scray is to blame for not stopping me from pulling in VC. Yes, that's how you know I'm addicted, shifting the blame onto him straight away. Anyway, the character in question is Lyney. Lyney performed a magic trick by making my guarantee vanish at 30 pity when I did a 10 pull just for the fun of it. Honestly, I wasn't that interested in his kit and planned to skip him anyway, but hearing everyone say that he was quite a strong unit, I decided to give him a go since, well, I already have him. I'm not just gonna let him sit there and ignore him for the sake of it. And let's just say his artifact set has now been moved over to Rio, and probably won't be touching him again. To me, he just feels pointlessly restrictive. Whereas if I wanted to play Mono Pyro, as I honestly do enjoy playing from time to time, I would just play Yoimiya or even Klee at this point, who aren't really restricted to Mono Pyro by default like Lyney is. And onto the fact that Lyney's burst looks really cool, but I just don't like how it feels to use. Honestly, at this point I'm waiting for a deal so I can use her in Mono Pyro instead, and Lyney's just gonna sit there on my account and I'll go, oh, right, you. Next up on the list, which I'm kind of on the fence about, is Eula. Eula as a character, I absolutely love her. I got her on her first rerun, then got her weapon on her second rerun. The thing is, I think I would enjoy Eula just as much by not owning her as much as I own her, because I literally don't use her at all. Even back in the day, I actually withheld building her for other stronger units that I have pulled, and before Sumeru, like a month or something like that, I farmed her domain full on, straight, and got this god tier Eula build as you see on the screen. Now, as we all know, Eula is known for doing some of the biggest nukes in the entire game, but the place where hitting a lot of damage actually matters, which is the Spiral Abyss, she is really painful to play. Last Abyss rotation, I tried to force her into my gameplay, and I think I tried for a very long time to say, oh, you know what, Eula's still usable, but it literally drove me insane and I ended up defaulting to some other stupid team instead. It's come to the point where Eula literally only exists on my account to flex her build and hit one big nuke in a Discord VC every 6 months or so. Actually, my most common use for Eula is her theme, because I love using it as background music in my videos. It's absolutely so catchy. You know what I also love? Everyone who leaves a like on this video and subscribes to the channel to make up for the fact how I dislike the fact I pulled Cyno. I got Cyno on his first banner mainly as the bonus reset and I won the 50-50. But now he's forever stuck at level 86 as I refuse to put any more resources into him. I initially loved Cyno's gameplay, his personality, his cool mask and his claws in his ultimate, and the mechanic where you do a massive slam on the ground like a true ferocious beast with his E in time with the ring on your screen. Just playing Cyno repeatedly over time became more and more frustrating. Now this was before Nahida released, so I hoped that when Nahida would come out, she would fix most of the issues I had with Cyno, because up until then I was using Dendro Traveler. But to put it simply, his burst just lasts too long, and if you clear a wave of enemies, you have to switch off to reapply Dendro, or your Cyno starts to do no damage. But if you switch off, your Cyno's burst ends, and then, well, then he is now doing no damage again. And it was only a matter of time when me and playing Cyno would come to an end. Now instead of doing no damage, he also has no artifacts, and I literally haven't touched him all year. Maybe I'll play him again once I get Baizu or something and I just decide to build him because I literally ran out of people to build. But right now I prefer Kaching, as she can quick swap and she doesn't have the long field time issue, or even Raiden as my Electro DPS, and Corinda's gonna come out soon, so it's not looking good for Cyno is all I'm gonna say. Last but not least, and this one is very shameful, I regret my C6 Nilou. Yeah, I said it. The only thing stopping me from being pissed over the fact that I C6'd her is remembering how lucky I got for her C6, as I got all her cons and her weapon, so 7 Nilous and a 5-star weapon in the same amount of money it took me to go from C0 Kazuha to C3 and his weapon, which was literally only 3 Kazuhas. The reminder of my luck keeps me going, as I didn't even win a lot of 50-50s. I just kept getting 5 stars thrown at my face early, and I ate that up. Now don't get me wrong, I love Nilou's base C0 kit, and I think it's really amazing. It does so much damage running Nilou blooms. However, I just truly feel getting her constellations on top of her at C0 is a massive waste. Maybe up to C2 if you really like her bloom playstyle, and I would stop there. The reason I C6 Nilou personally was to get all the 120 CV from her Constellation 6 and the extra scaling on her C3, C5, extra damage on the C1 for her E, and then the extra energy, well basically the extra scaling. No, fuck. Serrano has a vape DPS and it actually feels very viable, but as someone who owns a C6 Elan, the damage is just, well, a bit underwhelming in comparison. Like, don't get me wrong, her damage is great and I have hit like a 1.5 million nuke with Nilou, but in actual practice, she doesn't feel much stronger than just some C0 or C1 5-star DPS with their signature weapon. For example, C1 R1 Hu Tao, or even just C0 Al Haytham or Raiden and Child National literally feel like they're on the same level as my C6 Vape Nilou. Of course her blooms do a lot of damage anyway, but Nilou's free-to-play bloom numbers are already astronomical that the extra damage wasn't really needed for the actual money value in my opinion. With that being said, however, that is going to be the end of the video. Let me know who you regret pulling in the comment section down below. Joelted out. I'll see you in the next one.